Welcome back to the Snowpoint cast. Today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different than the norm. We're going to be doing a proxy tutorial. So for those that don't know, proxying is when you take printed out or fake cards and then put them into sleeves and play with them like they were a real deck. So that's kind of really nice because if you don't have a ton of money, it's kind of difficult to get into old format. And proxying kind of opens that door for people that don't have $1,000 to drop to get into 2006 or 2010. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do if you want to proxy a deck is find a deck list. There's a ton of places to find a deck list. I have a lot of them on the channel, and as the channel grows, I'll just be putting more out. So that's a good resource to find them. There's a couple other resources on YouTube as well. Like I know Chip Ritchie does some old format stuff. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, Googling as well, depending on what the format is that you want. There's a lot of article sites that have some really good deck list information. So just Googling the deck that you want if you want to build a specific deck to find that deck list is good. There's a group on Facebook called Snowpoint Temple. Snowpoint Temple is actually the group that this channel was named after, and it's got a ton of really good old format resources. So like literally any old format that you want to build, if you went to Snowpoint Temple, you would be able to find that format and build it. So really good resource online. So once you have your list, the next thing you're going to want to do is hop over to PokemonCards.com. And I'll drop a link in the description. It's not actually like Pokemon spelled out. It's like PKMN cards.com. But it's a great resource for finding scans. I think it has the best scans out there, in my opinion. There's a couple other places you can find scans, like Pokemon.com has scans, but one of my buddies, JP, actually uploads the scans, or a lot of them, onto PokemonCards.com, and they're just like really quality. JP has he's a keen eye for detail, and he's replacing all the like scans that he thinks aren't good enough now too, so that you can expect really high quality from that site. And like JP is just such a homie. He's done a bunch of effort on that site for free. He's really big in Snowpoint Temple too. He contributes a lot there. And he's just like he's an ambassador to the old format community. Really nice guy. So yeah, take the proxies that you need off of that site and then put them into a folder. So the deck list that you see, take all the cards that you need and then put them into a folder on your computer. And then the next step is you're going to want to open up like a Word or a Pages document, something that you can just print off. And you're going to want to place those proxies onto that document. So when you're placing those proxies onto the document, you want to have it look something like this. So you're going to be a 3x3 9 card page, and your Pokemon cards are going to be 8.8 centimeters lengthwise by 6.3 centimeters widthwise. And that's important because that's the actual size of a Pokemon card. So being able to just slide that Pokemon card into the sleeve that is meant to fit it is really important. And if you have that a little bit off, it can make sleeving your decks a little bit more difficult too. So once you have all of your proxies on a document, so whether a Word or Pages document, you should have 7 pages worth. Okay, you fit 9 on a page, times that by 7 is 63. And 63 fills out a deck. So it's going to be like 6 2/3 pages. But as soon as you have that all set out, there's a couple of ways you can go about getting a physical copy of them. So you're gonna need to print them. You can do it from home, but depending on how much your parents value printer ink, if you're gonna be printing this at your parents' house, that might not be a bad idea. And if you have printer ink yourself, honestly, it's probably not worth it because printer ink is stupid expensive. So I would recommend either going to like Staples, or in my case, I use my local library. And there's some libraries that even give you like a free amount of color printing every month. Like I used to live back in Calgary, and they used to give you like $5 every month. And at 50 cents a page, like that's a free proxy deck every month. So being able to have that free resource is really cool. The library that I go to now is actually you have to pay to print it, but I think it's like 50 cents a page. So it's like $3.50 plus like $5 worth of sleeves is like a $10 for a deck, which is super doable. I mean, if you don't have $10 to drop, I'm sorry, that's just rough. Save. But yeah, so the sleeves that I would recommend using as well when you're doing that are Dragon Shields. So I really like Dragon Shields. I think they last the longest. I usually get Dragon Shield mats. I had Dragon Shield regulars before, but I definitely like the matte a lot better. So yeah, print them off, and then as soon as you have your 7 sheets of a deck, the next thing you're going to want to do is cut out your proxies. So the method that I use goes something like this. I have the sheet, I'll cut it, every single one of these sheets, into strips of 3 first, like this, so that it's like a little bit more manageable. And then after I have it like that, I'll cut it into something like this, which is like an individual card. I find that bringing the sheets around everywhere is kind of suspect because you can damage them, and like just carrying things in that, like, this is a lot to put in a backpack and not get ruined. So when you have them in this size, it just lets you like take all of them, slide them in a deck box, and then whenever you like find time on the bus or whatever, you can just like cut them out. So that's the path that I like to take when I'm cutting them, and I definitely recommend taking your time, especially when you get down to this stage and you're cutting off these white edges. It's really important to take your time, because I found, especially when I like just started proxying, I was pretty quick about it and I didn't take as much time as I probably should have. And now every time that I play Meta Knight, I see one Rockets admin that's got that stupid corner cut, because I was just like, I'll just cut this corner like an idiot. So yeah, take your time so you don't have to regret it later. And so the next thing you're going to want to do after you have all this together is you're going to want to put it into a sleeve. So your finished product should look something like this. All the white is cut off and it looks almost like a real Pokemon card. And then you're going to need 2 more things. So you have your proxies, you're going to need sleeves, and you're going to need bulk Pokemon cards. So you're going to need 60 bulk Pokemon cards just to be something behind. You can't shuffle just this, it won't shuffle at all, but if you put a real card behind it, then it'll shuffle decently. So you'll need 60 bulk cards. There's a lot of places to get bulk. You can buy bulk at your local stores a lot of the time, or if you've been playing Pokemon or your friends have Pokemon cards, a lot of times they'll just like give you their crap ones. It doesn't matter what Pokemon cards you use as long as they are real Pokemon cards. So you put it in. It depends. There's a couple different ways you can do it. With the yellow border, I like to do it like this, because then if you put it like this, it almost looks real. And then like, see, any yellow you see is yellow, compared to like if it was blue, it would kind of pop out, but that looks like almost like a real card in a sleeve there. And there's another additional step you can do as well. So you can double side tape on the back of a proxy and then tape it to the card, and that way it doesn't move around. I am too lazy to do that. Like, I proxy so many decks that it's just one additional step to proxying that I just like, I don't know, I don't really care about. My buddy Josh does it for all of his decks. I actually really like the feel of the cards better when it has double-sided tape in it, and I think it is like better to play with, but I'm too lazy, I don't do it. Okay, so as soon as you have the entire deck in sleeves, the deck is done. So that's your proxy deck. And proxying is a great way to start playing Pokemon. Like I said, it's kind of expensive to get into old formats now, just because of the popularity of it. So having that to jump off, just to be able to be like, I have decks and I can play Pokemon, instead of being like, well, I have to wait for this order of cards to come in and that order of cards in, and I can't find that card and I can't build a deck. It just lets you like play Pokemon right away. Almost all of my, like, especially my initial 2006 decks, I had 6 of them to start. I built 6 at the beginning, and they were all proxied. Like, I had maybe 5% of the cards real, but I didn't have very many of them real, so I just proxied all of them and then filled them out over time. And there's like ways that you can fill them out that make your deck a lot prettier. Like, for example, for LBS, I got the EXs right off the bat. Those are the first cards I get, because old format EXs are like so cool. Like, look at that Blastoise. That Blastoise is sick. And that Steelix, like, they cost a little bit of money, but honestly, it's worth it, especially on the holofoil on the card. Like, for me, I grew up with Pokemon cards as a kid, so not seeing the holofoil on a proxy is very bleh. So finding those EXs is one of the easy ways to be like, oh, this is a real deck, even though it's like 80% proxy. I have the EX cards, it's real. The 2010 decks as well, if you're going to do 2010, a great way to get around my deck looks like a proxy deck is just get all the cards that have Galaxy Holo. So I love the Holo on 2010. This Jumpluff has that Galaxy Holo, and it's just like such a neat Holo on the card. It's just really cool. I don't know how well you can see that. But yeah, really cool Holo on the card. I'll take out the sleeve. Ooh, yeah. So having shiny cards, I don't know. That's kind of like a big reason I play Pokemon too, is because I like shiny cardboard. So that's how to proxy. If you didn't know how to proxy, hopefully you have a little bit better of an idea how to proxy now. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.